This is Michael Orrell from MobileBurn.com, and today I have with me the HTC Hero for Sprint. It's Sprint's first Android-powered smartphone. I'm going to take a look at the physical design first. On the left-hand edge here, you can see we've got volume control, nothing much else. 5-megapixel autofocus camera on the back. Up top here, there's a honest goodness 3.5mm headphone port, so you can plug your regular headphones in without an adapter. On the right-hand edge, absolutely nothing other than this chrome trim. On the bottom, the normal HTC mini USB port for data and power. The front of the device is fairly plain. You'll notice that there's no bent chin on the Sprint version of the HTC Hero, unlike the European spec device. The controls are very nice up here. There's a fairly large trackball here. Nice well-defined buttons for call send and call end, which also doubles duty for power. And then these other buttons here are all underneath this metal facade. They actually have a tactile response. They click, but they're kind of hidden. Very nice design. I kind of would have preferred the back button to be up top, closer to what you're doing on the screen than rather on the bottom. But otherwise, I really have no complaints. Nice half VGA resolution capacitive touchscreen display. Works very well, nice and bright. You can see the speaker grill holes up top. Overall, very solid, nicely constructed device. Some people might take issue with the fact that the micro SD card slot is located under the battery cover, but at least you don't have to remove the battery itself. Otherwise, you can see it's a very large battery. It's about 10% larger than the one on the European spec HTC Hero, which is always a good thing. When you first turn on the Hero, you're confronted by a lock screen. You have a couple of options here. You can either grab the screen and pull it down to expose the normal home screen, or you can actually get into the device a little bit more easily, perhaps just by hitting the menu button twice. Notice it's the full HTC Sense user interface. 7 home screen panels that can be configured. It's quite nice. 3G EVDO Rev A connection, so data speeds are pretty good. One of the great things about the Sense screen here is that you can actually have scenes predefined configurations of all your widgets and everything like that. So right now we have the travel scene loaded up, but you can pull the default HTC scene up, and in a couple of seconds you'll see the home screen configuration, all 7 panels, become reconfigured. What this means is you can then go through and do customizations as you like, rearrange things exactly the way you want them, and then save it and go back and forth between any number of home screen layouts. It's kind of like Nokia's method for S60, where you can switch maybe between a work or a play version of the home screen. I'm going to give you a quick demo of some of the widgets on the home screens. We have a blank home screen panel. We're going to add one of HTC's widgets to it. I'm going to take the bookmarks, and as you can see there are multiple versions of the widget. We're going to choose this one here. And this is a full page widget, so it takes up the entire home screen and there's no positions for the user to choose. You can see we can swipe back and forth and look at some of the other widgets. This is a messaging widget, full screen music widget, people widget where it has your favorite contacts, stock quotes, Twitter feeds, and here are a bunch of assorted widgets. You can see we've got one for a setting for Wi-Fi. There's a small clock here. There's numerous different sizes and styles of clocks. This is a shortcut to one of the applications. This is a shortcut to a particular contact record. Small version of the stock market, and I'm going to add another shortcut here to a Gmail label. We're going to have it show all of our starred messages. So now as soon as we type or tap on this icon, we get all of our starred Gmail messages. If you want to get rid of a widget that's on the screen, you just long press on it and drag it down to the bottom of the screen where it says remove. You can remove a few of them, make some space, and once there's some space you can see that we can also move widgets just by long tapping, and you can see the highlighted areas with the green border show you where you can move it, or you can try to move it to another screen just by dragging to the edge. Of course, we don't have any room on any of these other screens, so I'm just going to place this one over here. Of course, every smartphone needs a main menu, and if you tap on this little button at the bottom of the screen, you'll see just that. There's no folders or anything like that, so it can get to be a rather long list. You can, however, search. So if I type C, you see it automatically reduces as I start typing till eventually I get to camcorder and camera. Searching works most anywhere, and it's always accessible from the search button on down here at the bottom of the phone. You can also bring up settings, just so you can get a quick look at how they're organized. Wireless controls for, say, turning on Wi-Fi or something like that. Phone information. See, we're running 1.5 of the firmware, which is cupcake-based firmware, HTC Hero. I'm going to show you how status messages work on the Hero. You notice on the lock screen you get your most recent status message. I've got a new message from another man. We can take a look at that by, you can see we have up here on the top on the status line. If I grab the status line, we can actually take a look at the individual status messages. And you can see we've got a new text message, new exchange emails and things like that. If I just tap on the status message, it brings up the appropriate application. If you just want to get rid of the notifications, most of them can just be cleared simply by hitting the clear button. So that's our look at the hardware design and user interface for the HTC Hero for Sprint. Stay tuned for deeper looks into some of the applications like messaging, the web browser, maps, and the camera application. It's HTC Hero for Sprint. I'm Michael Orrell for MobileBurn.com.